Good afternoon, everyone, from this sunny, wintry day here in Virginia. I hope this finds you all safe, healthy, and staying warm if you're in a cold climate. I wanted to share with you today a theme I've been exploring and that we'll continue to explore in the coming weeks in our interviews with various community members and friends from around the world. But for now, I wanted to begin at the beginning. I've been reflecting upon a great deal these past few months about what it really means to live an awakened life. Once we wake up to the truth of who we are, which is being aligned with our true selves, our whole, total self, which is more than just the body, mind, body, spirit, all of it. And to know ourselves in that totality, consciously, intentionally. So living an awakened life is being aware of this wholeness of who we are as a human being. And as a human being, of course, we encounter experiences every day in various forms. And that's our relationship with life. And it shows us what kind of a relationship we have with ourselves. And the way that this shows up the most for me, it had to do with the lessons of love. Every day, life presents opportunities to love or not to love, to give love, to withhold love, to receive love, to push back and not let love in various ways. And sometimes it's not so obvious. Often, I notice that contained in the experience of love in the course of our life, in the course of all of our relationships, on all levels, is the experience of loss. It has to be there, of course, because life contains opposites. And we get to know ourselves through these contrasts of experience, which is certainly going to be presenting itself on a daily basis. So loss comes in many forms as well. Something we love, when it goes away, whether it is through death or change, major change, people come and go in our lives, separation of some kind, things don't work out the way that we'd like them to. People die suddenly, people die slowly. We lose many different things whenever there's a change. Something is lost, something is gained. And to be able to fully experience it all opens up something inside of ourselves, because we're opening up to the totality of life without pushing any of it away. And what's interesting is that I found I can only experience loss if I'm experiencing something that's outside of myself, because those things come and go, they change. But anything that is inside of myself doesn't go away, because it's inside of me. As long as I'm here, that's here. If I'm experiencing love within myself, love is here. Love never goes away. So love is never lost. Sometimes it feels like love might be lost if a dear one dies or moves away, or because of this pandemic, we're not able to see people physically in person. That feels like a loss. These things are certainly a loss, but there's also, we wouldn't be experiencing that loss if there wasn't also love. Love is present always. And that, to me, is the treasure within even sad experiences, is the love that underlies it all. And whenever I bring my focus back to that, it actually becomes enriched and it actually begins to expand. expands my heart. If I open to that which initially feels sad or something that I might not prefer, it actually expands into a much greater experience. It seems contradictory, but it's true. And so in that sense, love and loss can exist simultaneously, especially if a dear one passes on from their physical form, whether it's a long illness or it happens suddenly. That's certainly a loss. But by opening to it, instead of closing down, we open ourselves to a greater experience of love. And so that is the gift within it that's always available to us. And it's fascinating that life presents us in any moment, if we are open to that experience. To open to experience life fully means we're going to experience the full range of our emotions. And the important thing that I've learned is that I've experienced so much more of life by opening myself to all of it and not shutting it down. And it might mean that I cry more often, and that's okay. I've gotten to the point where I welcome tears because I know it's going to come next. It's going to be, whoa, such tenderness is there. And then I can go about my day and feel so deeply connected to everything around me. So my experience of myself has expanded because I've allowed all of that. So in the next course of these next few weeks, I'd like to go deeper into that with some of our community members and friends of how life itself awakens the experience of love ultimately. And sometimes it's obvious and it's in a very positive, celebratory way right from the beginning, but other times it is through the opposite of that. It is through loss. But sometimes it's through being open to a greater experience of life and just noticing the beauties that are around us everywhere. And that gets reflected to us in any number of ways. So life is a great adventure. Even during a pandemic, there are many things to explore, even when we don't get to go as many places or be around as many people as we usually are. Here we are at Synchronicity. We hardly see anybody right now except those few of us that are living here. So we have a safe social bubble. But we're surrounded by nature. So we like to watch the birds, and they come in abundance because we have this big bird feeder outside the dining room. And gosh, there must be 10 or 20 different kinds of birds. And some of them are very colorful. We have bluebirds and blue jays and scarlet tanagers and cardinals, the blues and reds, and the bright red woodpeckers with their black and white. So many birds are here as well. So there are many things here. So we invite you to come when it's time to visit. So exploring awakened life is being open to what is around us completely, fully, and just bringing it, allowing it all to come in without pushing any of it away. And then we can begin to notice and experience the truth of who we are as well. And the essence comes back to love over and over and over again. Begin to encounter more of that which we love. More of that which we love will come toward us, and love will begin to flow in to our hearts in great abundance. This is my experience in these past several months that is technically in isolation, and yet there's no isolation at all, actually. It's been quite an abundant experience. So I invite you to explore that and join us in the coming weeks to speak to some of our Synchronicity friends to hear about their experience of awakened life and the lessons of love that they have learned and are able to celebrate through this adventure of life. So I'll leave you with that for now. So enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for tuning in and listening.